7 images of terrifying weather events. Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Here are 7 images of terrifying weather events. 7. The Great Ice Storm of 1998. An ice storm descended upon northern New England, northern New York, as well as southern Canada between 5 and 9 January 1998, and was heavily influenced by a strong El Niño pattern that had been observed during the 1997 and 1998 winter period. The storm caused loss of electricity to 5 million people, destroyed 11,000 hydro poles in Ontario alone, led to the deaths of 35 people, and caused $3 billion worth of damage. In addition to this, around 300,000 farm animals perished from the cold. Dubbed the Great Ice Storm of 1998, the storm was a combination of 5 smaller ice storms and led to the deployment of 16,000 Canadian military personnel, the largest deployment since the Korean War. In 2014, scientists released a study that found pregnant women's stress levels during the ice storm affected the genetic expression of their children. This meant that the possibility exists that these children were at greater risk to develop asthma or diabetes because of the change in their genetic expression. 6. Typhoon Haiyan. In November 2013, Typhoon Haiyan slammed into the Philippines with wind speeds of up to 313 kilometers per hour. In some areas, the typhoon dumped up to 281 millimeters of rainfall in under 12 hours, while 7-meter waves battered the coastline. More than 7,000 people died, while around 6 million were displaced. Typhoon Haiyan remains one of the deadliest typhoons on record and was the most powerful storm of 2013. When it made landfall in the Philippines, it was a Category 5 storm, making for terrifying visuals. It is considered to be the country's worst natural disaster, and it also caused damage in Palau, Vietnam, and China. 5. Satan's Storm. Saying that the Lone Star State is hot is like saying the sky is blue, but during one night in 1960, residents of Central Texas experienced the heat like never before. A burst of hot air hit the area near Copperell just after midnight on June 15, causing crops to be burned up in an instant and automobile radiators to reach boiling point. The heat burst appeared as the last of a thunderstorm collapsed over Copperell. The lack of precipitation caused superheated air to descend at a speed of 121 kilometers per hour. At its peak, the temperature came very close to reaching 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 degrees Celsius. Terrified people wrapped their children in soaking wet towels and sheets, out of fear that the event signaled the start of Armageddon. This meteorological phenomenon was soon dubbed Satan's Storm and quickly earned a place in Texas folklore. 4. Black Sunday. People living across the Central Plains were overjoyed to see the sun on Sunday, April 14, 1935. After weeks of massive dust storms sweeping over their farms and destroying over 5 million acres of wheat, the sunshine didn't last long, unfortunately, and before they knew it, a terrifying 1,000-mile-long black cloud approached at around 60 miles per hour, 96 kilometers per hour, and overtook those who tried to outrun it. Some people wandered off the road, blinded by the black dust. Others sat in abandoned structures for 4 hours, praying the dust wouldn't smother them. 17 people died from dust pneumonia and dust suffocation, and several birds were found dead after the black cloud eventually subsided. Black Sunday formed part of the devastating events of the Dust Bowl era, which in total left more than 500,000 people homeless. 3. Volcanic Tornado. The peace was violently disturbed on Big Island in 2018 when the Kilauea volcano erupted in spectacular fashion in May, destroying homes as it spewed huge molten rocks. 2,000 people were evacuated, and by 27 May 24 fissures had erupted lava. As if that alone wasn't scary enough, the lava fountains, which had begun fluctuating as high as 230 feet, gave rise to a so-called volcanic tornado. This tornado was born after the intense heat caused the air to rise rapidly and form a vortex. Volcanic tornadoes can pick up pieces of lava and fling it about, causing even more destruction. In 2014, volcanic tornadoes swirled above the lava of Iceland's Halaron eruption in a cloud of poisonous sulfur dioxide gas. Despite the dangerous conditions posed by these tornadoes, scientists and journalists alike had to be sternly persuaded by police officials to leave the lava field. 2. Central China floods. In what would eventually be one of the deadliest natural disasters of the 20th century, China experienced great loss of life in 1931 during a number of floods that hit the republic. The months between July and November of that year saw strange weather patterns making itself visible as heavy snow, and then rainfall soaked the area after years of drought. As the unusually heavy rainfall continued into August, several cyclones also hit the country, and this led to the Yangtze River, Yellow River, and Huai River bursting their banks. Those who survived the flooding were soon exposed to typhus and cholera, and out of sheer desperation, many turned to cannibalism and infanticide to stay alive. Some people took to selling their children or wives to ensure their survival. However, millions who survived the flooding soon died from starvation as entire rice crops were wiped out. The overall death toll is estimated to be around 4 million. It is thought that if flood control measures were followed, much of the disaster could have been averted. 1. Joplin Tornado. As tornado sirens wailed throughout Joplin on May 22, 2011, many residents either ignored it completely or were slow to get to shelter. It is believed that this was mainly due to the number of false alarms over the years. Daniel Fluvardi was working at a Pizza Hut at the time, and he and some of his co-workers walked outside to see if they could catch a glimpse of a tornado. What they saw was a monster EF5 twister, so huge they couldn't see a funnel, and they initially thought they were looking at a thunderstorm. One of Fluvardi's co-workers made sure everyone was safe by ushering employees and patrons into a walk-in freezer. Veteran Christopher Lucas, however, didn't survive and was hailed at here afterwards. The multiple vortex tornado killed 161 people and resulted in damage to the sum of $2.8 billion. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.